What I'm going to cover today is to really just tell the story of what happened in Surrey and what work we did in Surrey and what we've learnt from that. Starting off by wanting to understand from anybody in that place or community, whether they're a resident, volunteer, an activist, a worker, a visitor, frontline worker, it didn't matter, but wanted to really understand, what is it like here? What does a really good day look like? What's happening? Maybe what's not such a good day? And what would make it even better? And through those insights of those conversations, and you put that together, you really start to learn and get some themes about what's really driving a really vibrant, good and healthy community. So as we were having those conversations at place level, the integrated care systems started to be formed, and Surrey was one of the first waves of those, with the aim of ensuring that care in places is integrated and connected and absolutely delivering strategic intent of health improvement and high quality, safe, consistent, good services where they were needed. But also what we learned from our conversations at place level is health isn't about health systems. When we ask people, it's having connection, it's having family, it's having friends, it's having things to do, places to go. When you do need services, they're good, they're not complicated. Having green space, all of those things, and a decent home. And if you have a job, it's a decent job. So we have to take a system view when we're looking at unleashing healthy communities. And a system needs to really deeply understand its place within that. And what Surrey realised was actually that means us doing some things really quite differently than how we've been doing them before. Instead of being a top-down, one-size-fits-all system, we maybe need to look at and understand that places are diverse, they're at different levels of maturity, and they work at different paces of change. And actually, as a system, we need to work out what culture will drive that, and actually how do we equip and support our staff, and how do we work collaboratively with our partners and businesses so we're really delivering those health intentions out in communities. So what did we do to help that happen? First of all, we did a leadership programme, team coaching and development for the emerging integrated care system new executive team. And that really focused on thinking about the values, the principles, the tensions, the practicalities, the givens, where are the creative spaces, but more importantly, how are we listening to and relating to places in a really different way? We also, with our colleagues at the NHS Transformation Unit, delivered a programme to deliver the integrated operating model for the health and care system for Surrey Heartlands. We did that through a really careful programme of building skills, capacity, and engagement of the staff who actually worked in those functions at different places. So the operating model took different functions and went all the way through the system, looking at what needs to happen at system level, but what could be and should be devolved to place, so that places were as empowered as and enabled as possible to do what they know they needed to do in their local area with their partners and in collaboration. So we delivered a series of masterclasses, action learning sets, project groups to enable that work to happen. But it wasn't centre out and top down. It was done with real engagement, real sponsorship and real ownership from the ICS leadership team, so that the place work and the organisational development and people work were really happening in tandem. And there were lots of adjustments. We learned quickly if something wasn't working, and we stopped and we regrouped and we did something else instead. It's about working out, where do we begin? Who do we begin with? Let's start somewhere and learn and do something. So what were we able to do, I think, was to really begin and are now continuing a conversation about collaborative leadership, about the leadership qualities, mindsets and behaviours, about really being able to name and own your own culture and subcultures and to tackle that, but actually to recognise and work with all the expertise, knowledge and experience that exists in spade loads in your communities and in staff as well, and to harness and use that, because quite often therein lie the answers to make a difference. And it's amazing how many times a simple difference can catalyse a whole string of events that actually make a huge difference to those communities. There's lots more I could say about it. All I can say is please do read the case study and look in more detail at what we did, how we sequenced it, what we learned. And I suppose all I can do today is leave maybe a couple of questions. And I imagine every single person listening to this, you are a leader and you're in a system somewhere. And if you could change three things in your system, what would they be? And how could you make a start?